Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today with Bruce McCurdy.
Hey David, how are you doing?
Good. So you're at the game tonight. The Edmonton's first preseason game. They beat the Jets 2-0, and you were
hmm
in attendance. It didn't look like it was too full. Was it full?
Yeah, no, it wasn't full. I couldn't really tell upstairs in the upper bowl. Looked like there were some wide open spaces, um, but I didn't really have a good view up there. But you would never get a full barn for first exhibition game of the season. It's not the big draw. There was lots of people out front trying to sell off their tickets and stuff.
Okay. So Bruce, let's do our two good things, two bad things, and we have numbers. So we'll do two numbers
We do.
podcast tonight. What's your good thing?
Well, I'm going to go with the new defense pair, the Swedish defense pair of Klefbom and Persson, both the Klefbom and Larsson, and especially Joel Persson, I think, passed his first test playing on this side of the pond. I thought he had a couple of sort of tentative moments very early in the game, and then as the game went along, he got more and more comfortable out there. It probably helped him a lot that he was playing with the best defenseman on the ice on either team. And but as I wrote in the game day post, if he's smart, he'll use that partner, and he did. And they moved the puck efficiently, and they largely moved it north, and they uh, generated some offense from the back end, and they really didn't give up much of anything. I mean, they both wound up the game with 2 assists and +2 and a 2-0 win. I mean, from a defenseman's point of view, that's pretty close to perfect.
Bruce, I really liked his game, actually.
hmm
There's a few rough moments, especially early on. He got pushed off the puck right on his
hmm
first shift. But and he's not a speedy player, but what struck me, and this is just a first impression, and it was against an AHL caliber Jets team, but he looked smart. He looked really smart on the ice, and a few times he and Clefbaum were under some pressure, forechecking pressure early in the game when the Jets still had some life, and they made about two or three smart passes back and forth, and they worked the puck out.
Yep.
Harrison put the puck on net for the Oilers' first goal by Neal. He also walked in one of probably the sweetest play of the night, sweetest play of the
Uh-huh.
night. He walked the line and penetrated in and got a really nice shot on net. Oh, well, the second sweetest after RNH's goal. That was sick.
hmm
That,
No,
but
that
he
was
he
nice, right?
Harrison walked the line.
hmm
Um, Bruce, it was my good thing is just the Oilers breaking out of the puck.
hmm
Um, and he was a big part of that. Bouchard, Caleb Jones, and Matt Benning even. Matt Benning even, Bruce, was what they were doing was something Jim Playfair, the assistant coach, had talked about in the summer. They're going to focus on moving the puck up the middle of the ice, something which is a big part of the NHL game now, something that every
hmm
minor hockey league coach forever has always told their players, don't do
Don't
that.
ever do that.
Don't ever put the, but that's how you get the puck out now. And they did it repeatedly. It was so sweet. I couldn't believe my eyes. There was one play early in the game when Matt Benning had all kinds of time. He slammed it off the boards and he iced the puck. And I just thought, Matt Benning, that's why part of me wouldn't have been sad at all to see you traded off this team this past summer because of
hmm
that play. I'm so tired of that play, Bruce. But it was the last thing for the rest of the game, Matt Benning caught fire and he was
hmm
putting the puck up the middle, making nice passes all game long. And that's the Matt Benning that we all really got to like in the 2017 playoffs. This smart and able player, and we haven't seen him since then. And it was kind of interesting to see so many young players, Bouchard, Persson, Caleb Jones, and Matt Benning, all passing the puck so well. And let's see, let's hope we can also see this now out of Darnell Nurse, Chris Russell, and Adam Larson.
Right.
That's and against, of course, will we see that? Will we see this against NHL teams, like a real NHL team? That's a real open question. But it was a great breakout of this new breakout system. It was great to see and kind of a relief. But again, I don't want to make too much of it because it's
Yeah.
against the crappy Jets team. What was your bad thing, Bruce?
My bad thing was, well, really the first part of the first period was very, very scrambly. And the Jets, or the Winnipeg uh, as I call them, does Winnipeg have an airport uh, team that was playing tonight? They had some energy early, and the Oilers seemed to be a little bit discombobulated and a little trouble moving the puck. And especially the line, the brand new line of Gate and Haas with Joachim Nygaard, I think Nygaard, and Steve Chason, and
Alex or
or
Steve?
Alex Chason.
You had
Yeah,
me confused there,
yeah.
Bruce.
I remember.
There's too many
I'm
Jasons.
old. Steve Chason. I mean, we're talking about the '80s Los Angeles Kings. Alex Chason, first game of the season, and Alex. Uh, there are kind of different kinds of players. Alex is kind of big and gangly and not exactly a speedster, and the other guys are a little quicker. But they had a couple of horrible shifts in a row where they just couldn't get out. They couldn't even get over the ringette line, David. It was just that was a real struggle. And Chason had a brutal turnover that kept the puck in. Then finally it came up the middle, and Haas and Nygaard got in each other's way and did the old Alphonse Gaston routine, and neither one of them moved the puck out and it stayed in their end some more. And then they had another shift, kind of like it, very next shift, where they just were pinned in their own end for 40 or 50 seconds. And I know Dave Tippett commented on that after the game, and I thought the same. Both times, the very good line of Colby Cave with Tyler Benson and Patrick Russell, very next shift, immediately turned the play back north again. And I thought those guys were good. And Haas and Nygaard, I felt their pain. You know what it reminded me of? I was constantly reminding myself, first game in North America, first game on small ice, first game they've ever played. And it reminded me of that time in Europe, or in England, where you're a driver, you're a competent driver, all of a sudden you're in a car and you're on the wrong side of the bloody road. And of course you're tentative. I mean, you better be tentative. And I kind of felt that that's where they were at a little bit. And they came on a bit later. Nygaard had a real nice rush and tricky backhand shot that tested Eric Comrie. But let's face it, they in a night where the competition wasn't good, those guys were not much of a force for the Oilers. So there's not much sort of like horribly bad. I mean, the hockey was bad for chunks of the game. It was pretty sloppy, but it's a small bad. When you win it with a shutout, like criticisms are going to be muted, and I hope this one comes across that way.
Well, I don't know if I can continue this podcast, Bruce. You've set off my PTSD talking about driving in England.
No,
It was the most horrifying day of my life, and I'm sure
scary,
for a
isn't
number of
it?
English drivers. Yeah, driving an unfamiliar standard. I didn't have a
Hmm.
map or
Hmm.
a GS, whatever you call it, global positioning
Right.
system,
And
because
the
we
gear
didn't get.
shift's on the wrong side,
And you're driving on the wrong side of the road.
and the pedals are on the right side, so you can't even kind of reverse everything and do everything backwards because the floor pedals are still the right way around. Anyway, yeah,
But this way, I was
that's
I, I was
that.
trying to go towards London, and I ended up going towards Manchester, and that's maybe what Gaytown Haas was doing out there. Actually,
Hmm.
Haas on that shift, I was kind of impressed with him, Bruce, on that shift,
Hmm.
like when they got hemmed in, because he was really covering his man on the slot. He was sticking with that man, moving with him, moving away from him when he should, moving with him. So I didn't mind Gaytown Haas in that
Right.
situation. I think some of the defensemen were kind of weak in those situations. So I bet it was a group effort. And it's true that Haas looked okay, but is there going to be any offense there? And yeah, anyway, let's not make too much of it. The bad thing for me was the Jets.
Huh.
Oh man, they had like of their top 18 scorers, Bruce, they
Hmm.
had two of them. Is it even allowed? Can you have such a crappy
Yeah.
team
Apparently
preseason?
so. Apparently
And
so. Little,
and
little, and Roslovic, eh?
Yeah, Little and Roslovic. And you know
Yeah.
what? Nine of the guys aren't even with them right now. They've
Yeah.
either left free agency, been traded away, or they're
Hmm.
holding out. So the Jets are in a whole lot of hurting,
They
which
are.
is which is good. I don't dislike the Jets, but they are in our conference. So, if that's one team that can get off to a 5-20 start, that would be good.
Somebody has to fall off the down the elevator shaft, right? I mean, they're missing Line and Connor, and once that situation gets settled out, they should be better off. But I think they got weaker over the course of the summer with other. losing Trouba for Neal Pionk, who didn't exactly grab my attention and hold it for the entire game. Let's put it that way.
He's no
Uh,
Trouba. Like
yeah,
Trouba,
he's
he
yeah,
got Trouba got
fact,
your attention sometimes in kind of awfully horrible Oilers flattening ways.
right.
He was a tough and a smart hockey player, Jacob Trouba. So I'm glad that he's not with the Jets anymore. Bruce, what's your number for this game?
Oh, well, I'm going to go with 11, which is the combined total of shots on net by our featured defense pair of Joel Pearson, who had 6 shots to lead the team and presumably the game. I didn't look that close at Winnipeg in his first NHL appearance. And his partner, Oscar Klefbom, 5 shots on net. And between the two of them, they were constantly funneling the puck in towards the net. And you know what? It worked. It paid off for both goals. That they were both point shots that, didn't necessarily. I mean, one didn't even get through to the goalie. Pearson hit Neal with the shot. Neal was able to corral the rebound and somehow managed to jam his shot through a couple of bodies and over the goal line. And the other one, Pearson shot it in first, and then Klefbom got a shot, and Nuge got a hold of the rebound and did his magic trick right in front where he roofed it. And talk about a goal that came out of nowhere. I mean, that second period, it didn't seem like anybody was ever going to score ever again. And that was, in fact, I mean, there was only 2 goals in the game, but that one just was a total surprise. I was sure we were going to the intermission at 1-0. Boom, goal. Hey, great. And that basically decided things. The Jets didn't have much pushback left in the final frame.
My number, Bruce, is 1602. It's the amount of time Caleb Jones played. It's the least of any defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
That's not encouraging for Jones. He's trying to make the team. I didn't think he played poorly. He
Mm-hmm.
he got caught flat-footed on 2 rushes, but otherwise he was moving the puck well and defending well. But they didn't trust him on the PK. No, he played the PK last year in Bakersfield, but the coach seemed to like to get William Lagesson out there, and Lagesson was fine. It's kind of what you're watching this game for is which of the people trying to make the team did the most
Right.
to make the team, and so from the coach's time on ice, that's not a good signal for Caleb Jones. And I thought, in terms of who did the most to make the team, it's obviously Joel Pearson. Looked
Right.
looked looked pretty solid, and I the one newcomer I didn't think was too highly of was Josh Archibald. He did nothing all game long. Maybe he's got a roster spot, but he had a super super quiet game.
He buzzed around a little bit. He can skate a little bit. I thought the team looked a little bit faster. As a group, it seemed like a faster team. Again, it's hard to judge when first of all, when you haven't seen a game for 6 months, and secondly, when uh, the other guys are uh, the opponent that we saw out there tonight. But just, I mean, speed. You can't really hide speed, and they always had a few guys that could move their feet pretty good, and I think that was part of their. Who skates better than I thought is Lagesson.
Yeah,
Um,
he showed well tonight. He kept it simple and he had a good game.
Wearing Oscar Klefbom's old number 84, and there was a couple of times I thought, there's Klefbom turning the corner, looking up to make the headman pass because he's about the same size and build and everything. But no, William Lagesson, and he had some good moments, a couple of shaky ones, and he's a young player. They all have shaky moments, but I don't think he hurt his cause.
It's
And
hard to know, Bruce, if they're
mhm,
faster
right.
this year. Like again, so it's against Winnipeg, this AHL Winnipeg team. But um, what struck me was with the better passing, right? With the better
Hmm.
breakout, with the sending
Right.
people up the middle of the ice, you look faster when you're controlling the puck. When you're passing the puck well, you're playing like
Hmm.
who was it? McClellan or Hitchcock always talked about playing faster,
Yeah.
but you can't play fast when you're constantly losing the puck and putting up
Right.
boards. They didn't have
Yeah.
Brodziak and Lucic. They're two slowest players. Probably
Mhm.
maybe Lucic isn't slow in a straight line, but he's one of the least agile players in the NHL. And Brodziak may have been the slowest player in the NHL last year. Um, so yeah, they're it's a different look, but I think the fastness just came in terms of the sharpness of the puck moving, which was again hugely encouraging for me in that game.
Hmm. And the other guys who didn't hurt their cause, I think, were Colby Cave
Look good.
Yeah, and Tippett had nice things to say about Cave. He said he really didn't know what to expect from the player, but he's uh, he had a good game yesterday, and he had a pretty good game tonight. Same line mates, Patrick Russell and Tyler Benson, in both Joey Moss Cup, and then tonight. And Patrick Russell, I love this guy. Like I'm always appreciating when I see him in Bakersfield or in his little call-ups and stuff. He almost makes no mistakes. He just plays solid, intelligent hockey, hustles his ass off. Like here he is in the last minute of a preseason game, busting his butt up the ice to win a race to an icing call, and basically killing the last 20 seconds of the game to secure the shutout by just willing himself past the defenseman and winning that race. And he had by stats, 6 shot attempts, 3 hits, a takeaway, and he was on the penalty kill at least a little bit. And uh, he's just he's the kind of guy you want to. If you're going to have to call up a couple guys at once because you got a little bit of an injury bug, you want to have guys you can count on. I think he's that guy.
He Yeah, he's an interesting player. Too bad he would have helped his cause if he had drained that 2-on-1. I think the
Yeah,
puck,
the
the icing
pass
might have been
was
a little bad.
pass. The
Well, I'm
pass
not sure if it
was
was the pass or
wonky.
the ice.
Yeah,
It
the
looked
puck wasn't flat, so I know
it
for
looked
sure.
true when it left Benson's stick, and then it started to wobble as it went
Hmm.
along. So maybe that was Benson, but he did get a wobbly puck to try to tee up. Too bad that he didn't score. I thought Benson looked good too. He plays an interesting game. It's a quiet game, but good board work, good passing. So yeah, that was a strong line.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
second best line of the night
Hmm.
for the Oilers.
Yeah, the best line. You want another number? How about James Neal? When he was on the ice, the Oilers outshot the Jets 12-0. Don't see that every day.
Push in the river, as they say, Bruce.
Yeah,
Push in
yeah,
the river.
that's a low tide
He's the new
coming.
Taylor Hall.
Pushing the river, yeah. Well,
Okay.
that whole line dominated in terms of possession, and they got the 2 goals. So,
Yeah.
and as they should, they were the best, by far the most experienced, best line on the ice. So,
Alrighty, let's leave it there. We're going to be talking a lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other
yeah,
this week, Bruce, by
yeah,
Skype.
another
4
game
games.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So
All right.
thanks for talking tonight.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.